I'm not where I thought I'd be. From the outside looking in, I thought I'd be in a totally different position right now. I'm 30. Interestingly, from the inside looking out, I'm at a place where I never thought I'd ever be able to get to. So here's my story. Here's exactly where I am. God always tells me to speak truthfully. That's who he calls me to be. So that's what I'm going to do. Right now, if I'm being honest, through my 20s, I've enjoyed some of my life. I've always felt, up until recently, that it's all about getting to the next thing and the next thing, and I never gave myself permission to enjoy life. That's a one mistake, so don't make that. But here's honestly where I currently am. Through my life, from a financial standpoint, things have been okay. But if I'm being truthful, sometimes I've scraped by. Last year, I was in a good job at David Lloyd's and I felt a calling to leave. It was good, I was doing okay, but I felt trapped. And I felt there was more to my life than just staying in a job where, even though I'm really good at personal training and nutrition coaching, it wasn't who I was called to be. I've always had my own company. It's done okay, you know? And if I'm being totally honest, I thought at 30 I'd be a multi-millionaire on a yacht with loads of naked girls. Now I think if someone handed me that on a plate, my flesh would probably say yes, but I like to think I'd say no. I wouldn't trade that life I wanted at 21 for the man I am today. So here's exactly where I'm at. I'm an athletics coach, I've got my own company, I'm personal training, and I'm working a delivery job and doing back at Tesco. I did this when I was like 21, 22. Talk about a punch to the ego. That's it. And you know, honestly, if hindsight's great, but if I'd have made the decision years ago, if I knew what I knew now at 21, I'd know I'd be in a totally different position. But let me get to the point. Where I'm at right now, looking from the outside in, I'll be honest, it's definitely not where I want to be. I have many things to be grateful for. But what's changed and what's transformed my life is who I know I am. I've spent most of my life searching, without realising, but searching to find out who I am. I've always been fascinated by life. What's the meaning of all this? Why are we here? What does happen after we die? I've always had big questions, and quite frankly, they used to scare me. But I still had the courage enough to face them and search. I've looked into Taoism Buddhism, I've practiced Qigong, meditation. I've taken too many psychedelics. You don't want to know what I've seen on psychedelics. And that was before I came to faith. It scared the living daylights out of me. I think it's fair to say that without realising, I've always been a truth seeker. And I've always wanted to share the truth with people. And what aligns with me is, I never thought that I could have the level of peace I have now. I don't even know what I was chasing. Well, I was chasing the things of the world. And I'm also not saying that money's bad or having nice things in life is a bad thing. And I'd be lying to you now if I still don't want certain things in my life. I do. I want the freedom to go where I want to go. I want to travel. I want to spend time with people I love. For me, what changed was knowing who I am. When I was young, I had such isolation. I isolated myself from people. I felt shame. I felt insecurity. When I went to, I had probably earliest memories of 4 or 5, being called different names because of my hair colour. Weirdly today I love my hair colour. But when you're a child and you're singled out and you're made to feel so different from other people, maybe we've all felt like that sometimes, it's easy to isolate yourself. I grew this lie grew inside me, this lie that I never felt good enough. I never felt like I felt different. I never felt like I belonged. And that insecurity was buried deep inside me. And it made me feel like I was abandoned by myself. Even though I had, and I have to stress this, I have had such a brilliant upbringing. My parents, the people around me, my family, my friends, they're such loving people. They're so good to me. But when you believe a lie that's been planted in you, and you've been told that over and over again, I'm sorry to say, but it stays with you. And that's why I was probably searching for, who am I? Why am I like this? I wanted to know the answers. And if I'm being honest, I was chasing all the wrong things. I was trying to find the truth in psychedelics, in different things throughout the world and everything I looked into. Until one day, I thought, you know what? When the world goes against someone or something, or a belief, I think it's a fair point to check it out. And at that time, I realised the world condemns Jesus. And if I'm being honest, I used to think people that follow Jesus freaks, crazy. What's all that about? I've got to follow someone, a God. Like, I've got to follow this guy. I used to always think this guy was nailed on the cross. I want nothing to do with that. It's quite that seems painful. But I got myself to a point in life where I felt lost. And I looked into so many different things for meaning and purpose, and I couldn't find it. And if I'm being honest, I got a truth here and there, but I couldn't piece it all together. And there was one day where I turned to Jesus, and it was along the lines of, Jesus, I don't know if you're real. I don't know if you are God. I don't know. But I'm afraid. I feel like life is meaningless. I feel like there's no purpose to any of this, and I feel like my life has no meaning. I don't feel like there's purpose to me. And I was in a bad mindset. I would never, not in terms of doing anything dangerous to myself, but I was so lost. I just honestly thought there is no point to any of this. And it's such a horrible thought to think. Also, add on top all the false beliefs I had on myself and how separate. You only have to believe the lie once, and then you can do the rest yourself. And it was in my own doing that I was separating myself from other people. Why? Because I didn't know who I was. I didn't know who I was called to be. And the moment that changed my life is when I got on my knees and prayed to God. And I said, Jesus, I need your help. And this didn't happen overnight. But what I found first, I was questioning everything. I was looking into the resurrection, like everything I could look into. I was like, is Jesus the way, the truth, and the life? Is he really? You know what I found? When I was on God's side, I had peace, joy. Peace that I didn't even like. I was like, what, do I even deserve this peace? But it's so interesting because when I went against God, and not like purposely, but I was like questioning, like, I don't know about this actually. I was stepping back on my side, my own belief. That peace left me. And that's how it started. Then I started watching a podcast called The Deep End. I want all the truth, right? I was listening to a guy called Jamie Winship, and since I've done his course, and he was saying how it's all about connection with God and connection with everyone else, and you can hear from God. And I was like, what? So I read his book, did some prayers, and at this moment in my life, I was really going through it, and I'd say it's a spiritual attack. I know it sounds deep, but I honestly believe that. And I had very bad thoughts in my head. And through that book and through praying, I started hearing from God. And I know, here he goes, he's off on, but I'm telling you, this is my, I guess, testimony. This is true. And this started happening over the last year and a half of following Jesus. I can only say my life has been transformed. And I get people like, it's just in your imagination, it's your own thoughts. If you knew the place I was at, there was no way my own wisdom, my own thoughts, I wasn't a very wise guy. I used to think I was. It shows how wise you are, right? There's no way I could have transformed or changed my mind. God did this. It wasn't me. And where I'm at right now is I honestly want This is what shifted for me, I'll tell you. When you hear from God, you can hear what God calls you. And, you know, we have identities as a collective, as Christians, and child of God, beloved, like loads of different things. But when God calls you by who he says you are, it transforms your life. And that's what changed everything for me. So where I'm currently at 30, I'm wiser than the 28-year-old that was trying to do it by himself. I realise I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And I'm not saying this so you listening right now think, oh, I'm just going to do what James says. He's right, I'm like, yeah. But I'm also not saying it so you think, oh, here we go, another guy just talking about Jesus. I'm talking to you right now because I want, with all my heart, I want you to have and experience the peace and love I feel. And the way I've found that is through connection with God and connection with everyone else. Jesus came to serve us, and he's alive today. He can serve us all. Soon, in a week or two, I've got my baptism, and I'm so excited. I've gone from the guy that walks into a room and goes red and feels insecure, that everyone's looking at him. And I'm not going to lie, here and then, it does pop up here and there, but I'm talking it's gone to about 90-95%. And you know why it's gone? Because I know who I am. I know why God created me. I know the purpose for my life. And when you can define who you are, why would you care what anyone else has to say? When the God that created all things created you the exact way he wanted to, and you live from that truth, who on earth can stop you? No one. But it's an everyday routine. You have to constantly seek first the kingdom, seek first God. I've done it this morning. I wouldn't be able to do this video and speak this truth without God. I wouldn't. I'd be too afraid. I'd be like, what's everyone else going to think? The reason I'm doing this today is through hopefully my vulnerability, you can be like, man, I'm going to start searching. I'm going to take action. This is my life. I want to live it to the fullest. And that starts by the truth genuinely will set you free. If you look at your life today and think, what truth am I living from? What lies am I believing? You'll be amazed what's behind that. What I've shared with you today is just a man talking to another man, sharing the truth of who he is. I'm no longer choosing to make decisions out of fear. I'm choosing to serve the world and serve you listening the best way I can. Yes, I'm a personal trainer. Yes, I'm a nutritionist. I'm an athletics coach. I've done many things in my life. There's nothing more I love to do to sit down with someone and talk about their life. Maybe I should have gone into therapy, who knows. But for me, what truly transforms a man is him being able to define who he is. And when you know your true identity, when you live from that, it's the most freeing feeling. I can't even explain it. I'm trying to. So if you're searching for meaning, maybe searching for yourself and you don't quite know it yet, I'm telling you, keep going. Keep searching. You will find the truth that you're looking for. But it's within you. It starts within yourself. Maybe it's not out in the world. And if you want some support on that search, if you drop me a comment saying reset, I have something that can help you out.